Awesome. It looks like we are live. Good morning and welcome, everybody. Thank you again for coming down to the Promise Startups Conference. And this is a really special moment for us because it marks our 1 year anniversary of hosting this entrepreneurship conference on the first Saturday of every month. And so because this is our 1 year anniversary, we have a different type of run of show today. We're going to start off by honoring some of the people who have really made this work possible because without their work, we wouldn't be here. And with their support, continuous support, we're going to be able to continue to build on all of the amazing work we get to do here. And then after we hear from the various entrepreneurs, we're going to open from our special guests. We're going to open the floor to some entrepreneurs, to some ecosystem builders to talk about what they've got going on. And folks are going to have an opportunity to share for like 5 to 10 minutes plus some Q&A. Is that cool with everybody? Awesome. All right. So first off, just need to give the flowers over to two folks who have been, stewards of this community leaders who've really done a lot of work to bring us resources, to be able to bring us funding, all sorts of funding, everything to help with, personal support to business support. And those are two of our elected officials that represent the districts that we're in here in North Las Vegas at Nevada Partners. The first, one, I've got to give a special shout out to Commissioner McCurdy, who's our Clark County Commissioner. It's his work that has brought so many entrepreneurial resources here to North Las Vegas and to the greater West Side. If y'all haven't heard just yet, there's actually a micro business park, an affordable housing park that's going to be built right over here. I'm literally pointing it to the direction of where it's going to be built. It's a $50 million project. It's going to be our own version of a mini UNLV Blackfire. What's happening is UNLV is coming to this community and it's going to be amazing. So we're going to continue to have this free co-working space, but for the businesses that we hopefully get to nurture and graduate out of this space, there's going to be retail space, stores over there, co-working space, and potentially a small business development center. So that's amazing. The second individual that's part of this dynamic duo of electeds that I want to give a special shout out to is Congressman Stephen Horsford. Congressman Horsford is our CD4 representative, and he's brought so many resources to North Las Vegas and Southern Nevada over his various terms in Congress and in the state assembly and Senate. Congressman Horsford actually started off as a CEO at the Culinary Academy across the way, I think 20 or 30 years ago. I don't want to age him that bad, but what I want to say is that he's helped a lot of people get jobs in the culinary space, which is amazing for Vegas. And now we're ushering in a new wave of digital enabled jobs, entrepreneurial jobs, and Congressman Horsford's support has been really a big part of that. And so without further ado, let's flash back to a clip we did with him here in this space.
And so we're excited to have them here and the investments that they're making North Las Vegas.
Absolutely. One thing that I reflect on is the amazing work you've done with culinary here in Southern Nevada and helping so many families be able to get knowledge is, building on top of that and getting into that industry. And so, we do a lot of that in honor of the work that you've kind of helped establish here. What advice do you have for young folks, especially young folks in this neighborhood, in terms of how they can get better access to the resources here?
Walk through the doors. You got to take initiative to come in to learn what's available. In addition to Visa and Alliant that's making their investments, we now have the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, bringing more educational and small business resources to the community. But this community access lab, it's all in the word community and access. And all you have to do is walk through the door and you can access information, you can access support and training, you can access digital skills and training. And the best part is it doesn't cost any money. It's all about just taking initiative and believing in yourself and investing in yourself to acquire the skills. And what I've learned over the years is that when people believe enough in themselves, then they can take their idea, their vision, their purpose as far as they want. There's no limitation.
Absolutely.
Someone believed in me, someone gave me a chance, and I'm just glad that Nevada Partners keeps paying it forward for others in our community.
100%. Congressman, thank you so much for all your support and uplifting this community.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy for the partnership.
Yes, sir.
It looks great in here.
Woo.
I love the vibe.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It looks great in here. I love the vibe.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Woo. That's awesome. So Congressman Horsford, we love you. Thank you for everything that you do for us. I've also got to give flowers to Visa. Visa, as part of their Super Bowl Give Back program last February, when the Super Bowl is in town, Visa looks to give back to the communities that they are in as part of their Super Bowl Give Back. And they selected Nevada Partners here, our Community Learning Center, as part of their Give Back program. And we're able to upgrade the space and offer, if you're familiar with WeWork, that place where you spend a couple $100 a month to get co-working access, well, baby, we are free work. You can have a free co-working space here. We really want to welcome you to collaborate, co-create, and co-learn with us. And so I've got to give a special shout out to Michelle Gethers, who was the Chief Diversity Officer at Visa. This was one of the last things she's done since she retired. And that's kind of like a dream job. Her role was essentially figuring out how Visa, this multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar impact of a company, gives back to communities. And so what Visa did for us is not only did they upgrade our space, but they also gave us 125 laptops, 100 of which went back right out into the community, and then 25 we have here in our co-working space. So feel free to walk in. If you need help with the computer, if you need help with your resume, you need help with your business plan, we want to be that resource for you. And we're actively looking to raise more money, wink, wink, donors, that we need more laptops to give away to more people. And so without further ado, let's give our attention to Michelle Gethers.
You see, the world is borderless now. You can be anywhere in the world in nanoseconds, and data travels around the world. So how is it that we make sure that there's inclusion, and not because of the color of our skin or our gender, but because of our shared humanity? I want us to experience this thing called inclusion. And so inclusion begins when you come out the womb, and it never ends. And so today, Visa and our partners are here because we believe that inclusion is real. And some of the people I want to acknowledge straight on include, yes, Nevada Partners, everyone on Alliant Credit Union, who I'll introduce their CEO in a little while. We have Senator Rosen's staff here. Raise your hand. Senator Rosen's staff here. Raise your hand.
All right. Well, that was a quick soundbite from the legendary Michelle Gethers. Obviously, we love Visa. We're we super appreciate everything they've done for us. Now, one of those community partners who came into the West Side recently and has done so much for us in the short amount of time that they've been here is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Now, I'm super biased. I went to UNLV as a teenager. I got to grow up there, and I got to be their student body president, which really was the responsibility of serving, representing thousands of students. And because of that, I got to see a little bit of the insights of how the university integrates with the community. And I got to say, UNLV does an amazing job at trying to integrate with the community and be partners of the community. And so over the past 2 years, we've been graced by the leadership of UNLV, the Office of Economic Development. I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Bo Bernhard, who's the Vice President of the Office of Economic Development, as well as Dr. Marta Soligo, who's the Director of Tourism, Gary Carrier, who's at UNLV's first ever social entrepreneur in residence, and of course, John Stevenson, who's our UNLV liaison. If you're a part of our incubator, you've got to talk to these folks. They want to help you get connected to tourism resources, UNLV resources. And if you've attended some of our programming in the past, you know that we're introducing a tiered system. And if this is the first time you're hearing about the tiered system, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or John, and we'd love to tell you about how this tiered system is going to help prepare businesses, potentially like yours, be able to do business with organizations like MGM and the other big institutions. But without further ado, let's hear a little bit more about what the Office of Economic Development at UNLV is doing for our community.
Welcome to UNLV Rebels Give, where rebels like you make it happen. This year, we're rallying our Rebel community to support Blackfire innovation and provide students with scholarship opportunities through CASE competitions. Thanks to the generosity of our donors and sponsors, we awarded scholarships totaling $20,000 to 6 deserving students who participated in our Breaking Bankruptcy CASE competition. This competition challenged student teams from various disciplines to showcase their skills in reviving businesses from Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Participating in this CASE competition wasn't just about winning a scholarship. It was about learning to collaborate, think creatively, and make a real impact. Thanks to generous donors like you, I was able to pursue my education with confidence. Let's keep supporting future Rebels as they strive to make a difference.
It was a fantastic opportunity for students to collaborate and demonstrate workforce development skills. These funds directly impacted students and their ability to continue to pursue their collegiate goals. But we're not done yet. This fall, we're hosting another thrilling challenge.
So one of the other cool things I just talked about, we needed to raise money for laptops. Well, the UNLV Foundation, the UNLV community came together not that long ago, literally 2 months ago, and we successfully raised enough money to buy another 100 laptops that we get to give away to this community. And so that's definitely the power of collaboration and partnership. So UNLV, thank you. Go Rebels. Hope that we can continue to collaborate. One last organization that I want to shout out before we pass it over to the small businesses and the entrepreneurs in the room that are going to talk about the work that they're doing. I need to give a special shout out to the Global Entrepreneurship Network. The Global Entrepreneurship Network has been here in Vegas for the last couple of years, but has really started to pick up steam. How much steam? Enough steam to pick up the attention of the entire world. Why is this so important to us? Because when we tap into the Global Entrepreneurship Network, we're able to reach businesses from all around the world. You know, if we just depend on doing business within our community, we might be limiting ourselves. And of course, we care a lot about doing business within our community and making it a lot more dense. But if we can tap into the global network and bring more revenue, more business opportunities into our community, we can do amazing things. For example, we recently welcomed a Slovenian delegation of entrepreneurs visiting Nevada Partners. We also welcomed a Dubai delegation of entrepreneurs that visited downtown Las Vegas. And through my own experiences of networking globally, I've been able to close deals in the most randomest of countries, including even countries like Nigeria, Malta, France, parts of Africa. And that's because we have access to the internet. We have access to these laptops. We have access to LinkedIn. We can do podcasts. And we really want to encourage you to be a part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network again this year, because we have so many events planned out in July and also in November that are meant to bring entrepreneurs around the world together with entrepreneurs here in Las Vegas. And so this is a little bit of the work we got to do last year, and hope it excites y'all to be a part of what we got going on this year.
My name is Dave Berlin, and I'm the state coordinator with Global Entrepreneurship Week, and I'm here at the roof of the incredible Ahern Hotel, one of our partners this year, and I'm very excited to see so many of the entrepreneurial groups and business owners come together. And the reason why I got involved with Global Entrepreneurship Week is it helps me further my mission to connect the people of our city, so together we can show the world who we really are. I just want to thank everybody for raising their hand and participating in Global Entrepreneurship Week.
Drove down, had nowhere to live. We were in one of the hotels for 6 weeks trying to get somewhere to live. So not planned well. But like the entrepreneurial community here is phenomenal. Like I joined a group called Entrepreneur Organization. Here is phenomenal.
So last November, we were able to talk to and spotlight 30 entrepreneurs here in Las Vegas on the global platform. And this upcoming year, we hope to be able to spotlight a lot of entrepreneurs. And that's part of why we even do this live stream on a regular basis, is so that we can help you reach more people using digital media, right? And reach people from around the world. So I hope you take advantage of this. Now, before I move into the business pitches, I got to give a really special shout out to the team at Nevada Partners. I want to give a shout out to our youth leaders, as well as our various staff members and our volunteers. So if you could join me, just thanking them with a quick applause. Woo! Without them, none of this would be possible. So let's keep on working together and continue building together. Now, I'm really excited about the first entrepreneur that's going to grace the stage, because they have been a part of our ecosystem for the past just under 3 years. And they've grown up here at Nevada Partners, and they've got some pretty exciting news to share. I'll let them do it. Without further ado, let's bring on up Alaric Overby with Green Side Up. All right, Alaric, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Alaric Overby. I'm one of the founders of a company called Green Side Up Vertical Farms. Green Side Up is a local vertical farming company specializing in what they call controlled environment agriculture, where we actually grow produce inside of a building. We do this without using any pesticides or chemicals. We're able to recycle about 98% of the water. We're using about 95% less space than traditional farming. And then we're also able to harvest in a third of the time of traditional farming. What that means is if you have a head of lettuce that usually takes about 55 days to grow and about 30 gallons of water, we're able to do that in 21 days and using only 3 gallons of water. Our goal with this and setting this up, especially inside of food deserts, is that we believe that vertical farming and indoor agriculture and innovative farming is a solution to food insecurity. And we believe that those who are closer to the problem are closer to the solution, meaning that if you empower the people who actually have the problems with the technology and the knowledge, they'll come up with their own solutions. A lot of the times the solutions that we see that come in some of these urban communities are coming in from the outside. And so they're not directly related to, what the actual community needs. By empowering the community, now you bring in a new type of economic development for the community. So now if you have a place like Las Vegas that imports 98% of all of its produce from around the world, they have a very big impact on the climate. They have a very big impact on economics. When stuff is imported, that means it takes away from the economics of the businesses that are actually inside that community. So what we're doing is that we look to actually set up these vertical farms inside of these communities. We had the privilege of being one of the first companies to actually graduate out of the Entrepreneur to Tourism Business Igniter here at Nevada Partners, which is a great benefit. What we've also been able to do is finally graduate and actually move out into our own location. So we actually have a 2,500 square foot vertical farm that we actually just recently set up about less than a mile from here on MLK and Jimmy. We're offering tours. We actually grow produce for the state of Nevada. A lot of the stuff that we grow actually goes directly back into the community through other community partners like 3 Square, Just One Project. And then we simply grow the produce and teach others how to do the same thing. So the biggest thing that we've learned about this and really operating inside the community is that you don't know until you try. And really is that a lot of it is about whether or not the community has the significant amount of exposure to new technology, to new opportunities, that they'll start to develop a lot of different resources and a lot of different businesses and a lot of different opportunities directly in the community itself. So again, it's been a great privilege working with Elias, working with Nevada Partners, working with a lot of the different organizations. So when you're really looking at how to get understanding of how your business needs to work, where your business needs to go, Nevada Partners and this program offers that opportunity. So for me and for my company, it's been a struggle, but yet at the same time, we've been able to learn a lot of things along the way. And so those are the things that we want to be able to bring back into the community, is that not just what we've done, but what we've learned also along the way. I think those are some of the biggest teaching points that we're actually offer. And I'm very grateful. Definitely looking forward to seeing everybody out here at the block party today. We'll actually be set up with a booth out there. We'll have some towers set up out there. And then we're also looking at setting up some tours so you can actually come through and actually see what a real vertical farm actually looks like.
Does anybody have any questions for Albert?
Yes.
Yes, I got a mic.
Hello, thank you so much for just everything that you do and how you just align and provide some of course, your passions, it seems like, with the community, especially in the food and beverage produce world. For a small business / restaurant who is interested in wanting to purchase some of the produce that you offer, how does that happen? How can other restaurant establishments in the Las Vegas area support your initiative?
Absolutely. So that's really our target. Especially that we believe that food is medicine, and we think that restaurants as well as chefs, they have a different job than just feeding everybody and just making food. They really have a job really contributing to the health of the community. So we really look at working with chefs to be able to source locally from them. We run a program where we do what they call like concierge service. I mean that we have the ability to grow what you want, when you want, in a certain time frame. So because of our harvest time, because of our control of the product, we're able to say that, hey, if you want, bok choy and you need 10 cases of bok choy per week, we're able to set up vertical farming systems and grow specifically what that organization needs. What that does, that helps eliminate waste. So typically when in restaurants, when they operate on very slim margins, and so every square foot matters. So a lot of times they have to order more than what they actually need. Because they have to order certain times of the week, that's coming from California, that's coming from Mexico. And so what that does is that they have, a lot of times they wind up having a lot of waste issues. So what are they doing with this excess produce? So what we do is that by working with us, we only grow exactly what you need. And because we're so local and we're so close, we're able to have it delivered to you within 24 hours. So those are some of the benefits of the freshness. So vine ripen. When we say local, the challenge here in the state has been, even the definition of local has changed. So you have a lot of restaurants, you have a lot of grocery stores like Smith's that say, hey, we source locally, but because there's not a big enough supply, local now is 400 miles away. So what we're trying to do is shrink that mileage. And so by creating more businesses and also understand that vertical farming and indoor agriculture it operates like any other businesses. So it needs marketing, it needs sales, it needs partners, the same way. So it requires different types of resources. And so those are some of the traditional things that don't normally go in traditional farming, but with indoor agriculture and vertical farming, it's a lot more technical. So we're using programmers and we're using, web designers, and we're using different types of supply chain. So even using things like blockchain to be able to track where the produce is coming from. There was just a recent report that leafy greens is one of the leading causes of foodborne illnesses in the country. And a lot of that is because it's done outside. A lot of that is because, dealing with the soil and dealing with the environment and dealing with different animals and things like that. So what we do is able to kind of really control the health of the actual product that's actually being grown. So the product is vine ripened. It's usually considered, the studies have shown that, vertically grown produce is 30% higher in nutrients, 30% higher in flavonoid content, then 30% higher in yield. So you get more bang for your buck. Any more questions?
Hi there. Thank you. Liz with Otopi Wellness. I was curious if you are only in the Las Vegas metro area and if you are considering expanding to other areas like the Moapa Valley or Mesquite.
So funny you say that. We actually set up a vertical farm in a new local grocery store out there in Mesquite. So we work with other partners around the valley. We work real closely with UNR. One of the things that we're working with UNLV is that UNLV is now a land grant institute. Same thing with Nevada State University. They are also a land grant institute. So what that means is when they become a land grant institute is that they have to, the government federally funds them to place more emphasis on programs like urban agriculture, urban farming, innovation in food development, things like that. So those are why we want to move into a lot of these locations. Actually, next week, I'll be speaking at UNR's cooperative extension with about 300 master gardeners. Why? Because now the master gardeners are showing a lot more interest in now even innovating what they're doing in regards to gardening, greenhouse development, indoor agriculture, vertical farming, hydroponics, aquaponics. These are all different types of technologies that are readily available, especially in a valley like this, where there isn't traditional agriculture available. So there's not a lot of farming done in like the Las Vegas Valley. A lot of it's done out there in Milwaukee and things like that. So how do you start? And then those areas are starting to become a lot more developed. So now they're kind of transitioning from being considered rural into starting to be considered more urban. So even a lot of the funding is starting to change. And so there's been a lot of conversations right now with up there in Reno with a lot of these companies now that have been considered, rural farms, but because of the expansion of development, urban sprawl, is that we're moving into a lot of these considered to be rural spaces now.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Robert Payne with Black Wealth Mentors. Love what you're doing. Love the idea. I was wondering, when somebody comes to visit your space, are you would you encourage people to try to do this at home, or do you have like a plan for people to like grow their own food or whatever, and in a greenhouse style like you have?
Absolutely. So this actually starts at home. And so what we've done is that we've actually partnered up with other individuals in the community who want to actually grow their own food, who want to use their home to actually start their own business. So we have another partner. He actually came to us about 6 months ago and wanted to set up a farm in his backyard. So we went out there, actually set him up. He's now called Will Farms, and he's kind of a subsidiary of our farm. So we basically have, we go out there, we help him manage his farm, teach him how to use his farm. He has about 6 systems out there. He's doing close to 2,000 plants per month. He uses the waste because he also has chickens. So he uses the roots and the waste of the produce to basically feed his chickens. And so then he's also doing fish. So we actually set him up with an aquaponics system. So now he's actually using the fish waste to actually grow the plants. And then that also recycles because now that's actually feeding the fish. So it's a really closed loop system, and then working with him to get into some of the other markets. There are a lot of farmers markets, for example, spread out across the valley. And so that's an opportunity for entrepreneurs to kind of highlight some of their businesses, grow their business until you're able to kind of move into a larger location. But somebody like him who wants to kind of train his son into entrepreneurship, now he's using the produce that he grows to send his son to the farmer's market every Thursday that's down the street from his community. Now he's teaching his son that. So now his son has a big interest in now getting into farming and then getting into agriculture. So, all of these things are designed to really, even putting these things in the schools is designed to, where's the next farmers coming from? That right now the average farmer is 58 years old. Anytime you have an industry that's reached a threshold where the average individual is 30 years old or above, that's an industry that's on its way to an extinction. So there's a very high importance on developing the next generation of farmers. And so that's really where the key focus is, putting these things in the community, putting these things in the stores. We've had vertical farms set up at Mario's to really kind of introduce to the community, and they've been able to see in the store produce growing in the store, and then it wind up on the shelves. And so it's about that, creating that access. And I think, again, by creating more opportunity, creating more access, making these things a lot more accessible, it becomes more normal. Right now, it's not normal. And in other communities, it's normal. They're fighting for food security to secure the things that they already have. In these communities, they're trying to secure the things that they don't have. So there's a big difference.
Thank you.
Nothing happens. I don't work for myself. ER Enterprises, by the way, is not my initials. It's environmental radar. What do people see you do? What do people hear you say? My environmental radar is on all the time. I pay close attention. I mean, I'm scanning this room, and I already know so many of you, and I'm so blessed and fortunate to get to know you. Love each other, help each other. I said that earlier. You got to support each other. You have a community here. Not a lot of people get to do that. I wish I had this when I was growing up. I wish I had this existed in my journey. I was so young. I was 19 years old when I came to this country. ER Enterprises became this place where I can actually, right now, have people in different parts of the United States that whenever they need to do workshops that I'm not able to do, they do it for me. And I said, okay, you know what? Here's my materials. You get to do it. You're supporting my clients. And then my heart is with the students at the university. Get them early. Do that for your community. Support your community, especially the young ones. There's a couple of young ones in here. Bring them up to know that even though you face some challenges, there's some great opportunities. The biggest challenge that exists is that space between your head and your heart. Those 18 inches. That's where I work as an executive coach. Give me your 18 inches between your head and your heart, and I'm going to dive right in. Do that with you. Love you. Take care of you. Don't let the naysayers continue to impact your life. The reason they do that because they're jealous. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to succeed.
Good morning. I guess it's morning everywhere, right? Good morning. I'm Dave Berlin, and when people ask me what I do, I generally say a lot. And then I tried to slow that down a little bit. I am a serial community builder, and I wear a couple different hats here in the Las Vegas community, even though I'm repping a Tulsa, Oklahoma shirt today. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and one thing about Tulsa is that there's been so many remarkable innovations around the economic infrastructure that's happened in that community. In less than 8 years, over $1 billion in entrepreneur dollars have been generated. And because I came from that community, when I came out here, I was very passionate about building community. So I am a Marine Corps veteran, and I do a lot of programs around veteran entrepreneurship. So one of the programs that I help launch here in the community is called Bunker Labs. Currently, I work with a program called Vets in Tech. And Vets in Tech is a national program. We help veterans and their spouses get tech and coding jobs, certifications, project management certifications, all grant funded, no cost to the veteran or their spouses. And then we match them with our partners because our partners are, because we're based out of Silicon Valley, our partners are Amazon, Google, Oracle, Meta, and then kind of all the companies in between. So my big focus out here in Las Vegas is building the entrepreneurial ecosystem for veterans, as well as in New York City, Miami, Tulsa, Austin, and San Francisco. So home base is here in Las Vegas. I also serve as the the state coordinator for Global Entrepreneurship Week. For those of you that have been tuned in all morning, that was the slides that we showed earlier. Elias is a champion for North Las Vegas. He's the community organizer for North Las Vegas, also working with Megan Buckley. And our focus is to really raise awareness around what Global Entrepreneurship Week is. It's a series of events that happens in November, and it happens all around the world. So all around the world, there's tens of thousands of events, millions of people that participate in this. And I tell people it's kind of like the Olympics for entrepreneurship, only we don't go to one place to compete. We do that in our own community. So how could we all come together? It started in 2021 here in Las Vegas with 0 events. We did about 25 or 30 events in 2022. 2023 last year, we did just about the same amount of events, but we were up against F1. So as we get ready for Global Entrepreneurship Week this year, we have a lot of support from the Lieutenant Governor's office and the Governor's office to raise awareness ahead of time. And one way that I intend to do that is to be able to put both hats on at the same time. So coming up in July, we're going to have what I call Freedom Week. Freedom Week is a celebration of different veteran entrepreneur organizations or veteran organizations in general across the community. And we're going to have some office hours one day. We'll have a networking event here at Nevada Partners. We're going to invite the governor's office to sign a proclamation for to declare Global Entrepreneurship Week for the state of Nevada. But also, Elias has been very passionate about helping me bring something to life right here where I'm sitting. We're going to be constructing out and building the Veteran Entrepreneur Library. So that's going to be a library of books where people from the community, other veteran entrepreneurs can donate books and create a space where we can promote veteran entrepreneurship and give some additional resources for that. So that's all going to be a series of events that happens in July. It's July 8th through the 13th. And then capping that event off, no pun intended, is my first official event with Vets in Tech. It's called Vet Cap, and that's going to be at DraftKings, one of our big sponsors here. And that's going to be a panel discussion to teach veterans a couple different resources of where they can get funding. So grant funding by Renee Bob, alumni of here at Nevada Partners. Also, we'll have Lisa Song Sutton from the Veteran Fund, as well as somebody from JP Morgan Chase, one of our other partners. And we're really just trying to figure out how can we collaborate all the resources, not just for veteran entrepreneurs, but as a veteran entrepreneur, I tend on leading the charge to make a dent. I realized a long time ago that I don't have to change the world, but together we can change the way that the world looks at Las Vegas. Questions? Does anybody have any questions? Sweet. Then I nailed it.
Some people are with you, like Eddie said earlier, for a moment or a season in your life, but you have to know when that seasons change and it's time to put on the snow boots instead of the swim shorts, right? So just know, okay, it's time to change clothes right now because they were good for that portion of your journey. Now you might need someone else for that second part of your journey, right? So understand when it's time to, whether it's called upgrade, enhance, or change during that season. And then I would say the second, the second advice I would give you, or even I've given myself over the years, that was a big challenge to me, was that you have to invest in your dream, right? You have to spend. You're gonna have to cut something out of your life, right? Maybe it's less sleep. Maybe it's surrounding yourself. Again, leaving the friends that are taking you away from your dream. Right? You have to, I call it trimming the fat, right? So you got to trim some of the fat that you have in your life to give yourself this undedicated amount of time to put towards what you want. No one can want this more than you. No one can drive it better than you. You're the only person behind that vehicle. Again, surround yourself with the people that's going to fuel it. But remember, you're the one who's driving the car. You're the one with the foot on the gas. So that means you're the one that's going to have to work at it more than anyone else. That means early mornings, late nights, studying, researching, learning, connecting, marketing, promoting. That means you're the one who's going to have to work at it more than anyone else.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Alondra Angel, and I'm an esthetician currently doing facials, but I would like to grow my education to become a barber. And after that, my 5-year plan is to have a school of my own. I invite you guys to get a facial. It doesn't matter if you come to me or not, just get one. And trust me, you're going to feel rejuvenated. You're going to feel like with more energy and you're ready to go to school or to go to work. I love the video because it says invest in your education, invest in your business, invest in yourself. Sometimes we don't have the resource, we don't have the income or the money to invest. But I could say that I'm very thankful for Nevada Partners, Elias, Suriel, because they have motivated me to keep growing, to keep going, and not to give up, especially because it's free. So, I mean, that's the best part, right? As we grow our business, we sometimes don't have the income and we do struggle. But thanks to them, I have grown my business and it's still growing. I'm not saying it's 100% there. It's not where I want, but I know one day it will. And I'm so grateful for you guys and all the partnerships we have. I also want to say that as being a mother and a part-time student, it was never easy, but I managed my time to even if I was feeding my baby or doing chores at home, because I'm also a partner, so cooking and cleaning, I would do audiobooks. Audiobooks was my to go to. So when I would go to school, I was ready to go and I would ask questions about the chapter and I would sound so smart because I was doing my homework, even if I had other responsibilities. And that was my motivation. Being a mother, going to school, and having a lot of things to do didn't stop me from where I'm at. So there's no excuse, woman. And I want to say one more thing. I do believe in God. I know it's not religious and stuff, but I could not give myself the whole credit. So I do want to say that. And I do also want to shout out a special person that has supported me. We're not the same color, we're not the same race, but you know what? That doesn't matter. In my own community, I was rejected so many times. So I want to say, give the opportunity to meet new people, new cultures, new whatever, because you never know who's gonna support you in this journey. Building a business is not only one culture, one community that's gonna support you. Let me tell you that there's so many cultures here, and I love it because I have learned so much. And those are my support team and my brothers and sisters now. Thank you. Oh, do you guys have questions? If you guys have questions, you could send me an email.
Question.
Yes.
The facial that I got with you was super refreshing. How do folks book, time to do a facial? What kind of specials do you have? What are you offering and selling at the moment?
I do offer for the community on Fridays the $30 deal, and I do have a link thanks to Elias. He helped me with my website, and we also made this Gmail. You signed up, give us your Gmail, your number. You get a free guide of skincare. You don't have to Google it. It's there on my Instagram, and I could also email it to you guys if you guys would like it. So I'm so thankful for that. Elias, he did his magic, and he could help other people.
Always happy to help.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
And so the first thing that we're going to do, which is part one, is we'll go through the screening application. But then what I also want to quickly point out to you is that there's a documentation requirement, meaning you'll have up to 90 days to get your documents turned in. Now, if you can get it done faster, remember I said it's first come, first serve, get it done faster. But a few highlights. First thing is we'll be looking for you to have tax returns and accounting reports from 2019 to 2022. And this is because this will help substantiate that your business was impacted by COVID. Now, let me say this at this point. If you look at these requirements and you say, I don't know if I meet that, do not eliminate yourself. My thing is, I want every single person sitting here that is a business owner, complete the survey. Let us work with you to figure out if there may be another form of eligibility that you may qualify for. But do not self-eliminate yourself. I really want everyone that's here today to fill this out. In addition to that, we talked about MBE, but there's also the DBE certification. There may still be an opportunity for you to get the DBE. So having said that, I don't want anyone to eliminate themselves. The other thing I'll point out too is, I told you I was a business owner myself. When I first got started, I had a CPA that was working with me to get my financials done. But when times got hard and I had to make some cuts, I didn't have access to the CPA anymore. And so getting my financials done was a challenge. So I and we understand. So what does that mean? If you get to a point where maybe you need some accounting reports, but you don't quote unquote have them, we may have some templates or some guidance as a part of that template. If you get to a point where maybe you need some accounting.
Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Walbert Castillo, and I am a small business owner here. To get things started, who here has had Filipino food before? Raise your hand. Nice, nice. Oh my gosh. Well, for those that aren't familiar with the Filipino demographic or the cuisine here, we're the fastest growing minority group here in Las Vegas. 53% of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are identified as Filipino in the Las Vegas area. That's about 200,000 Filipinos here. You've probably seen Filipinos in every store or hospital or institution that you've walked into, perhaps. But what I do is I have a Filipino pop-up restaurant here in Las Vegas. So what we do is, for those who have had chicken adobo or lumpia or pancit, I know it's like, oh man, I'm so hungry right now. When is lunch? My goal is to really serve dishes that you haven't had before, ever, even Filipinos here living in the US. And how do we do that? Well, I travel to the Philippines every now and then to work with historians to uncover what was Filipino food before colonization. So really what we do with my restaurant, it's called Historia. And it sounds very familiar to the Spanish word historia, right? So historia is story. I come from a journalism background. So for me, I used to work as a multimedia journalist in Washington, D.C. at USA Today for 5 years. That was where I was before coming to Vegas. And, you know, I was very passionate about the work that I do there. On any given day, I would drive to the White House, set up my camera, set up the tripod, find sound bites, interview folks, drive back to the office, edit the video, and hit publish so we can have that video and article out on the site day of. It was very, it was a lot. But what I learned in my 5 years was how much I loved storytelling. So Historia is kind of this passion project that I have. It's a combination of my passion for storytelling and my love for Filipino food and culture. As a second generation Filipino American, I've always felt so disconnected. I don't even speak the language. I can't understand it. And I feel like a stranger in the room. So walking into my tita's house and like seeing everyone just like speaking Filipino, I'm like, I don't even know, but I'll eat the food, right? I'll eat the food. But one thing that I felt was, you know, I had the opportunity to travel to the Philippines about 3 years ago with all of my first cousins on my mom's side. And essentially what we did was we retraced our ancestral roots. Where did our great, great, great grandparents live? And essentially, why don't we rent pickup trucks, bring all of our cousins in the Philippines and take an entire U across the South, which we're all from. And what I found there was so special. Because I learned about my own origin story, I felt so proud to be Filipino. And I felt more connected than anything, more connected than I felt at any family gathering with all the titas and titos speaking in Filipino. But when I came back, I was like, wow, like, is this what it takes to feel connected to my ancestry, my roots, a trip to the Philippines? And I dug a bit deeper and I realized that no, I think if you dive into your origin story and you learn about sort of who we are as a people, then maybe we can all feel proud to be that culture, that ethnicity. So what we do at Astoria is very special. We serve cuisine inspired by Philippine history. And so if you're familiar with just some of the Filipino foods today, pancit and lumpia are actually Chinese Filipino influenced. Noodles and egg rolls. Chicken adobo. Isn't adobo a flavor and spice that you'd find at La Bonita, right? No, it's actually, it's crazy to think, but adobo itself has always been pre-colonial. The name adobo was actually came about because when the Spanish had set foot on the islands in the Philippines, they pointed that out and they were like, actually, that is like our adobo. So that's sort of the reason why adobo is named today. And so, you know, moving forward, you know, what are the other origin stories of the food that we have on our tables and why do we always see those mainstay dishes at Filipino restaurants? So for me, we really focus on storytelling. Chapter 1 was pre-colonial. We focused on pre-colonial ingredients. Currently, there are 75 endangered ingredients to the Philippines. And we really focus on the storytelling that takes place between all of those dishes and ingredients. Chapter 2, we focused on Chinese Filipino. So I'm naming all these chapters, but really they are pop-up dinner series that we do. We have 4 dinners per chapter. And what we're doing is we're moving across time to present day Philippines. So chapter 2 highlighted the Chinese influence. As early as 10th century, the Chinese started trading with the Filipinos. We actually have the oldest Chinatown in the world. It happens to belong in Manila, in the Philippines. And so 2 weeks ago, I just came back from the Philippines with my team. It was 10 of us from Las Vegas, and we just came back from the South. What you'll realize, and not a lot of people know this, but the majority of religious groups that people identify in the Philippines is Catholic Christianity. There's about 90% that identify as such. But there is 6% that identify as Muslim Filipino. And what's crazy is that before the Spanish colonized the Philippines for 333 years, Arab traders had set foot on the islands 200 years before the Spanish. So people don't realize that this is another sort of sliver of Filipino cuisine that might not necessarily be introduced in your mainstay Filipino restaurant, let alone a Filipino restaurant here in Vegas. In the South, they have distinct flavors and spices that actually showcase Filipino food being spicy. I never thought Filipino food would be spicy at all. A lot of the things that I see are very vinegar based. But to cut things short, we just came back from the Philippines, and for our next chapter, our next dinner series, we'll be focusing on food that belongs to the Muslim Filipino community in the Philippines. And so on June 25th, we are serving 13 dishes inspired by our journey. My chef was the former executive chef at Momofuku at the Cosmopolitan, if you're familiar. And so from the time that we started about last year, we also were awarded Best Pop-Up Restaurant in Las Vegas by the Las Vegas Weekly. And so it's been a really exciting journey so far. Thank you. But any event, any dinner that you go to, if you're not familiar with what a pop-up restaurant really is, we are a small business that typically operates within the restaurant sphere. So we typically work with restaurants that are closed on a specific day, and we rent out their space during that event. So I don't have a brick and mortar. I don't have an actual restaurant, but when they're closed, we have a venue fee sort of exchange. And then my staff, from back of house to front of house, we rent the space out and we serve the community for an evening. So yeah, if you're interested in learning more about Historia, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at HistoriaLV, ISTORYA. And yeah, our next dinner is on June 25th in the Arts District. I'd love to invite you, and hopefully you can make it. Thank you, Elias, for just providing this opportunity for me to talk about my business, but also the amazing work that you're doing here in the community, specifically the startup one, and entrepreneurs all around Vegas.
Thank you so much, Robert.
And love is the standard. Love is the standard. It is the question that you ask. You know, when you want to grapple with a political issue or a moral issue, the first thing you should ask is, what is the most loving way to approach this topic? You know, when you're thinking about, you know, your workplace and the like, love is the standard. You know, not power. Love is the standard, and love can win. Love can conquer power. So the civil rights movement, for example, it was won probably at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. Win. Love can conquer power. So the civil rights movement, for example, it was won probably at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. Win.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rashonda Brown. I am an up-and-coming entrepreneur here at Promise Startups and Nevada Partners. So my business is called Wild Waves USA, and we focus on prescription eyewear. One of my sayings is, to be successful in life, you have to have all the tools that you need. And for some people, prescription eyewear is a tool that they need. So what my business is going to be focused on is helping the underprivileged, low-income families obtain affordable and stylish eyewear, prescription eyewear. For those that don't know, eyeglasses are very expensive. I didn't wear glasses all my life up until about 5 years ago. And when they told me I needed glasses, I was like, oh, okay. But then I started looking and I was like, wow, I paid $300 for one pair of glasses. And I just feel like for some people, that's not obtainable. And if it is, they have to not do something in order to receive glasses. I don't want anyone to ever have to decide if they should get a pair of glasses or eat. I don't like that. So my goal is to reach families that would have a problem finding glasses and find them the most affordable and stylish prescription eyewear available. So I'm still in the beginning stages. Elias has been amazing helping me get from level to level. I'm working on a website. I have one. I haven't published it. However, if you would like to reach me, you can contact me, email me at wildwavesusa@gmail.com. And I'll reply as soon as possible if you need my services. Thank you very much. Any questions?
That was perfect. Because that story you told, I felt that glasses are very expensive.
They are. They are.
Thank you, Rashonda. That's great.
Thank you.
Alrighty, y'all. I wanted to, I think does anybody, last call for pitches. Anybody else want an opportunity to share what they're working on? It's an open format. Calling it once, calling it twice. I'll take the last bid then. Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Elias Benjaloon, and I have a new project that I want to talk to you about, and I'm passing out some brochures, or Adamari is passing out some brochures right now. This project, it's called Butterflies Move Freely, and it's a multi-part project that I'm working on. It starts off with a book. So I wrote a book that addresses immigration. And so the topic is we're exploring immigration in the USA and beyond. And I am actually announcing the launch of this book today. The book is going to be available for delivery on June 20th. June 20th is a very special day around the world because it's World and Children Refugee Day. And it sounds so weird for me to say this, but when I came to America, I was a refugee under asylum for a big part of my life. And that has led to so many weird consequences throughout my life. And that's why I decided to write this book on immigration, to explore that topic together. And so I have some really exciting initiatives that are related to this business. The first one is we're going to explore the issues. Immigration is so complicated. I've been dealing with it my entire life, and I still don't understand it. And I bet you most people don't either. Based off the conversations I have with people, I know most people don't. And so I am looking for experts in immigration. I'm also looking for lived experiences, and I want to interview folks. I want to be able to share their stories, so that we can understand better the issue of immigration. Because I think right now there's not enough dialogue that's happening on this topic. But the funds for this book, it's not to make me rich. What I want to use the funds for is actually to establish a legal aid fund. And so this legal aid fund is going to help immigrants like myself work through the complications of the immigration legal system. And so if you do decide to pre-order a copy of the book, just know that it's going towards a good cause. And I'm kicking off as part of this, the third key initiative here is a mobile app that would essentially connect other immigrants to these resources, like the legal resources I'm talking about. And so that's all I'm going to share for now. You've got the brochure, and I'd love to talk to you more about it if you come join us at the block party across the street. It's going to be super fun. We're going to have barbecue food. We're going to have so many things going on over there. And does anybody have any questions for me? Awesome. No questions is great. I did see that we got Dr. Lawrence. He just walked into the room, and he wants to pitch for Wise Up. So let's go ahead and welcome Dr. Lawrence up to the stage. Here, I'll pass it out for you. Thank you.
Let me give him notes. Thank you. How's everyone doing? All right. That's good. Most certainly, most certainly. So Wise Up. Wise Up is a community and economic development nonprofit. It is strengthening educational, cultural, and economic backgrounds of a community. So what I'll be doing at the block party today is smoothies. My smoothies are detoxification smoothies. I want to get them to the homeless. They have sea moss, shilajit, turmeric. Some of them have oregano in it. Oregano is good to cleanse the lungs. So basically, there's a lot of mental health issues that the homeless is dealing with. So with my smoothies, I want to start from the inside. It's getting hot in the summer out here. We have garden blueberry, which is blueberries, lemonade, sea moss, shilajit. It's protein, it's good energy. I'm 36 years old. I've been drinking these smoothies for the past 8 months. My skin is clear, my hair is growing. Over the last 2 months, I lost 45 pounds. 45 pounds. I was 275. I was eating a lot of rice every day, every meal. I was eating a lot of rice. So my whole thing is life skills. It's hard to tell someone to stop doing something or to live a different life, even if it's healthy. So my pitch is no one has to stop anything, but when they start putting healthier things in their body and then wise up, we're going to be doing transitional life skills, life skill programs for the youth. We're going to have a boxing academy. We're going to have a leadership academy, which is we're partnered with the National Honor Society. We're going to induct youth into the Honor Society after our 3-month program. They're going to have life coaches and mentors, pretty much from various backgrounds as well. We're gonna have free haircuts. So the idea is just changing the life of someone, the soul of someone, to their mind, will, and emotion, and helping them out with resources. We're gonna have Bible study as well. And I know it's not what goes into your mouth is what comes out, but if you're eating a double pastrami bacon cheeseburger, it's gonna send stressors to your mind, and you're going to be fighting stress based off of what you eat. So when I start putting oregano oil into my smoothies, I started to want more of oregano. It's healthy. It cleanses my lungs. It's good for parasites on the inside. So not only am I coming with nutritional facts, I've tried these things as well. So I've studied a lot. I'm working on my doctoral degree in strategic leadership. So I figure I'll become an herbalist. I figure I'll study what Dr. Sebi was on and the natural remedies of things. How grapefruit is good for your heart. How garlic is good for your circulatory system. How turmeric is good for your inflammation. So just everything about wisdom is what I have to offer. So does anyone have any questions? Hello.
Well, the reason why I feel some of us don't have that style yet is because when we go buy these fruits and veggies, they're very high. A pack of strawberries, $9 almost.
Okay.
So what do you recommend for us that when we go shopping for our kids to, get some fruits and veggies?
Okay.
What do you recommend for us to?
To shop around, to look around, look online and see where the deals are. Where it's going to be farmer markets up there. Also, I got 3 pounds of strawberries for $3 from Target today, and I was still shocked and thought it was in the wrong place.
Target.
So I understand. Also, with the SNAP benefits, it's supposed to be for healthy foods, but rarely have I seen people just buy fruits and vegetables with their SNAP. So we're also going to teach budgeting. So we're going to teach shopping. We're going to teach where you can go and bargain on the smoothies, and I mean on the ingredients for the smoothies as well. That's prices fluctuate, but just shop around for the bargain.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
My kid is actually a very picky eater. He doesn't eat any meat, so I have to educate myself on something that I'm not educated. I'm Hispanic and we eat meat, chicken, all this stuff.
Right.
So I have to learn for him because he's a baby. He's 2 years old, toddler now. But thank you for sharing this, and I am gonna try it. So because I'm sure he's gonna love it. It's gonna be good for his health. Thank you.
Certainly.
Hi. So I just wanted to know, will the smoothies be available? Will that be something that you do ongoing, or is it just like for an event for the homeless, or will that be available to everyone?
So that's something that'll be ongoing. It was something that can be a fundraiser where because I sold about 20 smoothies. I was just talking to someone at a nonprofit, and she was like, "Oh, can I buy 15 of them?" And I'm like, "Well, I was going to give them away, but I need to fundraise for my nonprofit as well." So I also was thinking of maybe making it a LLC. Taste Juice Bar, the juices, partnership. I went to the white label event, and there's someone that I connected there that make potters that turn fruit into potter. So I'm seeing what more I can do with it, but the whole idea is to give it for free, to provide something for free.
Okay, I was wondering because I deal with a lot of health issues, and I'm looking for the change. I'll probably say about 40% change my eating habits.
Okay. Amen.
But I would also like to do the smoothies, because sometimes when you do those, the different vitamins, like I was taking turmeric. I deal with rheumatoid arthritis, so I have a lot of inflammation in my body. I was taking turmeric twice a day, but the capsules was upsetting my stomach.
Okay.
And so I feel like the smoothie would be a better way to get the turmeric into my system, as opposed to, getting the turmeric in and then having to fight with, dealing with the capsules. So that's why I was wondering if they would be for sale on a regular basis.
Right. Well, the idea is endless possibilities. I did have turmeric pills that I did capsules that I did put into my smoothies, and it wasn't a significant difference from having a natural turmeric as well. But you always want to stay with the natural form of it. But it's pretty much. I lost my train of thought. But also, you can find me. We have a website. It's Wise Up Ministries at site now, wiseupministries.now.site as well. You can find us on Wise Up Incorporated on Instagram as well. And we're going to be doing blogs and videos about the difference of capsule supplements compared to like the oil. It takes a lot to compress something into an oil. So oil is great as well. It's just knowing what to put in your body for the inflammation. And you got to also think that your body is like, when it comes to oregano, I wasn't just ingesting oregano. Maybe I put it a little bit on my spaghetti every here and there, but you are putting something that your body needs into your body, and your body is getting used to it. Oh, what I went on to say is that that studies have shown that 99% of disease is not hereditary. It is the lifestyle choices. If you eat the same thing that your family's eating, fatty foods, the same lifestyle, then you're going to develop those diseases. But there's cures and natural remedies, the seeds, the nuts, the vegetables, the fruits. There's natural healing. It's just getting that information out to the public. Did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I most certainly. Thank you.
Good seeing you. Alrighty, folks. So that concludes the live stream component of Promise Startups Conference. Stick around, though. I've got some exciting updates, but thank you all so much for being a part of this live stream. Hope everybody has gotten something that they can walk away with that was tangible or helpful to, fill up your cup as you take on your entrepreneurial journey moving forward.